I am indeed mad. I'm actually 100% mad. And by the end of this session, I hope all of you will be mad too with me. A lot of the people that are on this picture here, and even more, they were stark, raving, bloody mad. All of them thought they were crazy because they were focused. Madness is not about being crazy. Madness is about passion. Madness is about tenacity. Madness is about the desire to do things. Mad people are eccentric. I am totally eccentric. You know what eccentric means? Eccentric means off center. We are not in the middle, we are out there. We are the ones who bring about change. We are the ones who break the status quo and build the future. But while we are doing that, we focus so hard on the outsides. We build originality, we build uniqueness, we build absolutely the brilliance and the genius of madness. This is why only the mad will thrive in the future. Today's topic is about metamorphosis. And what a beautiful metaphor that we have to work with. So I request you over the next 1 minute or so to please just immerse yourself in this video that is going to follow and just feel that you are actually that little caterpillar who comes out of this egg. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our perfect metaphor for what we are going through, the transformation, the metamorphosis that we are going through in our world. We went through all of these stages, and as a caterpillar, when it built this little pupa, the little chrysalis around it, it actually liquidizes itself completely and then reforms and comes out of this beautiful, vibrant, blazing butterfly. All of you have that capacity. And today, we will talk about exactly how you get there. And we'll go into a journey and how this butterfly flies thousands and thousands of miles like you will. I went on my metamorphosis. This was my little clumsy attempt at an event when I launched my long-term moonshot. And that's what it was. And we will talk a bit more about it towards the end. As we go forward, what we see that humanity is at a crossroads. And what is happening here is you can see that the technology chart, because of Moore's law and all of these things, is growing exponentially, while the rest of the things are not keeping pace with that change. And that, to me, is the fundamental shift that's going on, is we cannot keep pace with the change of technology. While this technology is merging with all the things that humans are doing, we need to connect and we need to bring humanity back into technology. So what we're actually doing over the last 30, 40, 50 years is putting technology into our lives, technology into our business, technology into everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to put humanity back. We need to be more human than we were ever before. And that is the way forward and the way of the future. We'll look into it in depth because anything and everything that can be digitized, automated, will be. But all of you are young people, the teachers and the educators here. What will happen to serendipity? What will happen to chance? What will happen to playfulness if we just become robots and all we have is technology? Why is all this happening? Let's look at the technology age. On the left side of this chart, you will see 10 years ago, all of the companies were either oil companies or financial services companies. On the right-hand side, Now, all the companies, except bar one, but now even that has taken over, all of them are tech companies. 15 of the next 20 companies are also technology companies. And most of them are from China and overseas. So this is the revolution that has taken place, and we are now being controlled by technology. Do you recognize this image? This is IBM Watson. It's a cognitive computer, an artificial intelligence engine that about 3 or 4 years ago won at Jeopardy. And now a lot of new computers are winning also. But when it won at Jeopardy, what actually happened is that artificial intelligence works on the left side of the brain. And every single thing starts becoming perfectly positioned in the AI engine. So 25 years ago, the internet commoditized and democratized knowledge. Today, artificial intelligence and computers like this are commoditizing and democratizing expertise. So if you were a lawyer, if you were a doctor, if you were an oncologist, you were here. But if you're a nurse or a teacher, you're down here. Over the next 10 years, this thing will start shifting. As automation, AI, technology, and stuff starts changing, this will start happening. Expertise will become less and less relevant, but humanity will start coming in. This side of the brain has to grow. This side of the brain is about imagination. It's about touch, feel, humanity, love, affection. It's about intuition. It's about all of those wonderful things on the right side of the brain. We spend our times at schools learning about the left side of the brain, which is going to go away. The right side of the brain is where the future is. And that is one of the key messages from this session, from this talk, is in our metamorphosis, we need to build the right side of our brain. So what's happening is that the world is tilting. The whole playing field is tilting. And in this playing field, people are moving towards Silicon Valley and those kinds of companies. The reason is that we need to be more liquid. We need to be networked. We need to be fast-paced. We actually need to be mad. We need to be completely nuts to be able to live and play in this playing field, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is our future. So as we move forward, data has become the new oil. But our thinking, our brains, our intelligence, all that's in here is the fuel that's driving us. It's the fuel, it's the engine that's driving everything in our lives. However, trust and empathy, right side brain activities, that is the currency of the future. Not data, but trust. And that's one of the key lasting messages from this session, is this is how we will live our future. As this transition goes on, one of the things that happened, which our friendly dinosaur friends were not able to do, was to evolve properly. So let's look at some companies. And this was a bit of research done by Babson College in Boston, where 75% of the companies in the S&P 500 will no longer exist in the year 2025, 75%. But even more interesting, 50% of the companies that will replace these 75% of the companies haven't been born yet. It is all to play for, because it takes now 1 to 2 years for a company to go from $0 to $10 billion. The speed of shift and change is so fast that we cannot live our normal lives. We can't just norm ourselves in the middle. We have to be mad, and we have to be on the outer skirts of that. Every industry is getting disrupted. Some of them have already happened. Others are in the process of happening, like the financial services industry and so on. And there are a few more that are going to change. Now, in this environment, the people who are defending it are scared like hell. They're stressed out. But young people like you, this is the best time in the world to live. This is about abundance and opportunity, and this is how we go forward. So huge opportunities in front of us. One of my professors, one of my gurus, his name is Professor Marshall Goldsmith. He's the #1 leadership coach in the world, and he wrote this book, What got you here will not get you there. There is now a disconnect in the world because of the speed of change. But also, going forward, we don't even have a normal ladder. This is our ladder for the future. This is the ladder that you guys are going to be working with. It's not normal. So you have to be slightly crazy. You have to think like a surfer on top of a wave. Those are the kinds of things, and those are the kinds of emotions that you need to start feeling to be able to thrive in the future. These companies were not able to do that. Kodak died. Guess what? Replaced by which company? Instagram. Because Kodak forgot the business that they were in. They thought they were in the business of cameras and film. They were not. They were in the business of memories and moments. Instagram gets that, and that's why it ended replacing it. And a lot of companies are there. We also have some amazing new companies coming in, and they have fundamentally changed the businesses that they're in. A lot of them are tech companies, and they're reorganizing the structure that we're in. So as we go forward, we need to now think about the word change. Metamorphosis could be a word used there. Change was hardwired and hard-coded in our brains in a certain way. We need to throw that out, and I don't know, you can't use the word change anymore. Call it bazinga. I don't care what you call it. We cannot think about change in the same way. We need to change the way we think about change, because that's the only way to thrive in the future. In all of this, we throw in the millennials. They come in and change the equation yet again. The millennials are living with a lot of new attributes and so on. Some of them call it the me generation, the narcissistic generation. That's not a judgment factor, it's just a view. But the most important thing is that they are different. They have different sets of values and so on. These people, these young people, by the year 2025, will be over 75% of the working population. So we need to take them seriously. More than that, when they were polled in terms of who would they like to bank with, they said, oh, we'd love to bank with the people that we work with today. Not big international banks, but we like Facebook. We like Apple. So it'll be Apple Bank and Facebook Insurance Company and Amazon mortgage services company. So the whole shift is taking place in that particular direction. Beyond that, hardcore companies like automobiles, 81% of the people in India and 74% of the people in China say that they would rather buy a car from a technology company, so basically software on wheels. So companies like Mercedes and BMW and Toyota have an existential threat to their absolute existence and survival in the future. What a fundamental shift that's going on. What a metamorphosis that's going on. What of this liquidization that's taking place and forming into a new butterfly as we go through. And while we are going through, jobs will change. It's not a human right anymore. It's not about everybody should have a job. That's the industrial age thinking. Today, we're moving forward. So anything and everything that can be automated will be. But anything that cannot be, like trust and imagination and love and affection and collaboration and all of these things, will be 100 times more valuable. Therefore, that's the focus area. The question I ask ourselves, ask all of you, who is in control? Is it the robots who are in control, or are we in control? That's one of the key questions that we have to ask. While I was presenting this a couple of months ago, a friend of mine, she's a celebrated show jumper. She's a prize-winning show jumper. And she said, I get it. Because my beautiful horse is 5 times bigger than me and about 50 times more powerful than me. But I control it. I am in charge. And that is what's happened. So what we need to do is start asking the questions, who should and what should be automated and what should not be automated. And these are amongst the things that shouldn't be. A couple of practical suggestions and then we will end. I have something called the 60-40-20 rule. That 60-year-old people are making decisions, strategic decisions in companies. 40-year-olds are executing it, and 20-year-olds are actually the consumers. And this is this disconnect is far, far, far too great. So what we need to do is to do certain things. I have a mentor. I have an older mentor, but I have a younger mentor. My younger mentor is, he is 21 years old. He's a Chinese-American kid. And when he was here doing an internship with me, I learned way more from him than he ever learned from me. So all of the senior people in this room need and should take a reverse mentor. All of us should go out and take an art class rather than just going on holiday and lying on the beach. Learn how to play a musical instrument, do something crazy, do something on the right side of the brain. That's what we need to do. And last but not the least, learn how to code. Learn how to write a simple algorithm. Learn and understand how zeros and ones actually work. And I think those are amongst the kind of things that we need to do as we go forward. So now I'll end with my story of metamorphosis. A couple of years ago, I sat down and did a mind map, like most good people do, and I created what is called a butterfly project. And the butterfly project is my moonshot, way beyond Mount Everest. I'm going to the moon, ladies and gentlemen, and I am going to the moon with 1 billion young people and ending education, but celebrating learning how to learn, learning how thinking works, learning how memory works, learning how comprehension works. Because if we know how to learn, the jobs in 30 years from now are fine, because things are going to evolve and change. We are reaching 1 billion kids by the year 2025, and I'm working with Professor Tony Buzan as part of this project, because this beautiful little butterfly, the monarch butterfly, do you know that it travels 3,000 miles from Canada to Mexico every year, stays there through the summer, and comes back? If a little butterfly can fly 3,000 miles and survive and come back, so can you. Look at her journey, going out there, and see how you feel. So my thesis, only the mad will thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, go out and be mad, be crazy, do wonderful things, make a difference in the world, because I'm 100% mad. Please be mad too and make that difference. Thank you very much.